So I guess Nancy Pelosi is not taking any chances these days. Here's the headline. Very Catholic Nancy Pelosi had priests perform an exorcism on her home after her husband was attacked by a nudist. And this is from louderwithcrowder.com. Yeah, so I guess it was evil spirits that was responsible for the whole hubbub at her house. And, I think we've got a photo here of Nancy after the exorcism. Oh, sorry, that's just a movie poster for the movie Creepshow. That's an easy mistake to make. But here we have Nancy Pelosi reportedly having an exorcism on her home. But I have to wonder, how well is that going to keep nudist drug dealers from being let into the house, allegedly, by her husband in the middle of the night? I mean, do exorcisms actually work on that? And if this was a real exorcism, technically, wouldn't it just prevent Nancy Pelosi from getting back in the house? So as we all remember, the news story was that somebody had broken into Nancy Pelosi's house and attacked her husband. But very quickly, the story seemed to get pretty strange. I mean, here's a story from NBC News, which they retracted shortly after putting this out for some reason. And then later had the details of that original story confirmed, and I'm sure politics had nothing to do with the whole mess. And in that story, after the wellness call from the police, Pelosi had answered the door. He had let the police in, didn't declare an emergency or try to leave his home, and instead walked towards the assailant. And apparently Pelosi and DePape were in the house for 30 minutes before police arrived. That was David DePape. That was the nudist drug dealer hippie who was in the house in the middle of the night for some reason. So it just seems a bit strange, doesn't it? The police show up, and instead of immediately raising the alarm or getting behind the police or something, you don't seem very concerned and just walk over to the guy who's in your house in the middle of the night for some reason. And by some reports, in his underwear? I don't know. Very, very strange. But where does this story about the exorcism come from? It says here that her daughter, Alexandra, explained the event to the New York Times. Quote, "I think that weighed really heavy on her, Nancy's, soul. I think it really broke her." This would be the attack. Over Thanksgiving, she had priests coming, trying to have an exorcism of the house and having prayer services. So that's coming from her daughter. However, the pastor of Nancy's local parish, Father Arturo Albano, said his staff did not perform an exorcism on Pelosi's home. Pelosi could have sought help from outside her parish since the San Francisco Archbishop banned her from receiving Holy Communion over her support for baby murder. So there you have it. Hopefully Nancy Pelosi's home is safe from nudist drug dealers being allegedly led into the house in the middle of the night by her husband from now on. That's probably best for public relations. And I guess they can just get back to doing what they've always done, which I'm assuming is getting hammered, eating ice cream, and passing out on the living room floor. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I thank you for that. I will see you next time.